Good afternoon, this is Olin Meadows with Austin Entertainment Weekly. Today we're getting to talk with Bryan West of the national tour of Priscilla Queen of the Desert. Adam plays the role of Adam or Felicia, which is his female counterpart or alter ego. Hi there, Adam, how are you? Bryan, how are you?
I forget who I am sometimes too.
It's kind of confusing. You've got two characters that are the same person, but very different.
Yes. Adam is like my normal, just everyday, when I'm a boy on the street character. At least as normal as he could be, because he's quite a troublemaker. But Felicia is my performing name. It's actually Felicia Jolly Goodfellow is my my full drag name. And that's whenever I'm doing a crazy performance piece that I do quite a bit in the show. So.
Well, you got the role that has the famous shoe and aria bit. How does that translate from the big screen to the stage?
First of all, that's like one of my favorite moments of the show, and it actually it looks amazing. It's actually very similar to the film. So we have this huge flowing, fabric behind the bus. We've got an actual larger than life high heel shoe that I sit on, and I do like this entire number that comes out toward the audience, and it's pretty amazing.
That is like my inner drag queen is squealing right now because I was a female impersonator for 7 years, and I adored that movie. And I remember about 5 or 6 years ago, several of my friends were talking, and I said, they should really make a stage version of either Priscilla or Tu Wong Fu. They're so larger than life, and so we all started talking about it, and then surely enough, about 6 months later, they started announcing that they were making a Broadway show of it, and it was like our prayers had been answered. We were so excited.
Yeah, I was just as excited when I read about it, and I focused my goal on getting the show because I just felt like it was going to be something so different and just out there, just like the movie was when it came out. I just felt like it was something that I had to be a part of. And then when I saw that the same costume people were going to be doing the costumes that did the movie, and the same person who wrote the script was doing the book for the musical, that's when I really got excited, because I was like, they're really going to keep the authenticity of the film in the show,
Well, I have one question for you in particular. Besides the shoe scene, what is your favorite moment in the show altogether?
Well, I love the opening it's not the opening number, but we do a number called Go West, where we kind of introduce the bus and everything. And, me and Bernadette, we are bitching to each other, and I'm trying to get her excited about taking this trip, and that's where I start singing Go West. I'm like, together we will go our way, and all the entire ensemble bursts out through the curtain in these crazy Western outfits, but they're all silver leather and just feathers, and that's where I introduce Priscilla, which is the bus, and I actually christen the bus while I'm standing on top of it. And you've got confetti that comes down, and I just love it because it really gets the show on the road, so to speak.
Well, that's awesome. I know that Bette Midler originally produced the Broadway version, which you were in.
Yes.
And how does the Broadway production vary from the tour production?
Well, overall, it's almost identical. I mean, we didn't cut any script or dialogue or songs or any of that kind of stuff. All the costumes are the same. We had to the bus is the same bus, but we had to make it a little skinnier in order for them to travel it from city to city. It had something to do with being able to take it apart and put it back together. In the time, a lot of times they have to do that all in one day, which I can't even imagine how they do all that. But it really looks almost identical. So I was really happy that we kept the integrity of the original show, and that's kind of another reason why I wanted to do the show, was to kind of be the cheerleader and ambassador for the original production. and I'm really happy with the way it's turned out.
That's exciting. I was looking at your bio, and you've done all of the fabulous musicals that's hit Broadway in the past 10 years. You were in the Broadway production of Hairspray. You were in Wicked, Legally Blonde. Like, what? You've done all these really awesome top, build shows. What do you think you want to do next after Priscilla?
I don't know. I'm still kind of waiting for that show to call to me. Like that's kind of how I've always done it. Like I'll hear about a show that I just have to be a part of. Like with Hairspray, like I grew up in Baltimore, and I was a huge John Waters fan, and I'd never done theater before, musical theater, and I was like, I have to be in that show. So like I went to an open call for it, and I got it. Just out of the blue. Like it was just really random and crazy. And since then, I've just kind of gone to each show that I've really wanted to be a part of, and that's just luck, I guess. But I don't know. I'd really love to be like in the new revival of Les Miserables. I think that would be amazing, and just kind of out of left field. Since a lot of my shows that I've done are like big pop shows, but I actually was trained classically in school, so I would love to kind of show that side off a little bit. And do like more like of a legit kind of musical.
That would be exciting, especially after the national and international success that the movie version of Les Mis has gotten. It's kind of helped bring it back to the forefront. What are your thoughts on the current Tony noms since they just did all their nominations this week?
I think it's great. Actually one of the original Broadway cast members of Priscilla, her name's Kayala Settle, she got nominated for a Tony Award for Featured Actress in a Musical for Hands on a Hard Body, and I'm so proud of her. We did the original tour of Hairspray together, and we were in that same line for the open call for it. She was right in front of me. I had no idea who she was. I knew she was some crazy girl. And we both got that show, and now she's a Tony nominee, and I'm just so proud of her for that. But yeah, I'm excited. I haven't seen a lot of the shows since I've been on the road and everything, but I've worked with a lot of the people who created Kinky Boots, Jerry Mitchell, and Stephen Aremus did all the musical arrangements for that, and I worked with him on Wicked, and he's nominated for that, and so I'm just really proud of everybody. It's kind of cool that I actually know the people that are nominated too.
That always makes it more exciting, I have to admit. So let's talk a little bit more about Priscilla. How long have you guys been on the road right now?
I think we're around 4 months now.
Okay. And what is your favorite city that you've hit so far on the tour?
Well, I would probably say Miami.
Well, yeah.
For obvious reasons. When we hit Miami, we had just come from 3 months of just the Arctic tundra. We went to every cold city you could imagine, and those people in those towns, they needed our show to come and cheer them up, But
yes.
But then we needed some cheering up, and so we spent the last month in Florida, and it was amazing. It was just what our show needed to kind of give us that second wind for the second half of the tour. So I loved Miami. It was great. The audiences were amazing. They were crazy, and we got to lay out by the pool. So that was really nice to work on our tan a little bit.
I can't promise that in Austin next week. Our weather here has been so bipolar, it's not even funny.
Oh, really?
In fact, I just opened the door earlier, and it's 50 degrees out there, and that never happens in Austin in the middle of March.
Well, that's all right, because I want to see a lot of live music and eat a lot of good food while I'm there. So
that's definitely something you can do in Austin is eat good food.
Yeah.
So, I was really impressed with your bio that they sent us, because you actually shout out to the youth, and that's a question that I ask every interview is, what is a piece of advice you would give to young theater artists and performing artists who want to make it in the big time, tours and Broadway and all that big professional theater world?
Well, I mean, you have to be committed to the art form, and really, you can't just treat it like it's a passing fad. You really have to hunker down, really study your stuff, and just really commit to it if it's what you really want to do. I wasn't really sure that that's what I wanted to do until I was trying to decide where to go to college, and I was like, okay, now I really have to decide what do I want to do? And I just couldn't think of anything else that I loved as much. So just really, study away at it, practice it, try to find some good teachers, some good local places that you can perform at. If you're not, I was lucky enough to go to a performing arts high school, so we had a lot of that in house. But a lot of communities have performing arts schools that you can go to. So I would say that's a good start. And then after that, it's just a lot of it's just sheer luck. But it's like half luck, half determination. So
Absolutely.
Get the determination part down.
Well, thank you so much, Bryan. I'm so excited to get to see your show, and
yeah.
I wish you the best of luck on the rest